there! Welcome back to the classroom. Let's put a little vacay in your day. Today's vacay Q&A comes from Betty in Dallas. Betty says, "Hi Miss Kears." Hi Betty. Since reading Nurturing Nutrition, I've been trying to eliminate as much sugar from my diet as possible. I've been experimenting with alternative sweeteners, but they taste awful. The only substitute I've found that I like is honey, but it's expensive and has as many calories as sugar, even though it is better for me. Any suggestions on how to sweeten without increasing calories, cost, and chemicals? Well, Betty, there is no easy answer to that question. I would love to tell you that there's a magic bullet, but sugar is a highly addictive substance and there is no easy way to stop it. So let me just give you a few tips that, although they're not easy, they're simple. So let's talk first about just conquer those cravings. The only way to conquer sugar cravings is to cut out sugar entirely. For 2 or 3 days, just go without. Now do it at a time when you can afford to not feel very well, because sugar cravings turn into sugar withdrawal. And don't be surprised if your stomach is upset, if you have a headache, if you're cranky. There are all sorts of withdrawal symptoms associated with sugar withdrawal that are often associated with drug withdrawal. So don't be surprised by that. The easiest way to not crave sugar is to not have sugar. So where you can, just cut the sugar out. It will take, again, 2 or 3 days to get used to it. But once you do, whatever it is, you won't miss the sugar because you won't be addicted to the sugar. So just be aware the only way to stop a sugar craving is to stop the sugar entirely. You also mentioned honey. You can have honey. Honey does 2 things that aren't very productive. Number 1, it is very calorie dense, so there are a lot of calories in honey. And number 2, it does cause the blood sugar to rise. However, if you don't have blood sugar problems, 1 or 2 spoons of honey a day is not going to hurt. So if you want to put a little in a cup of tea, that's okay. It is a little expensive, and try to use honey grown as close to where you are as possible because it is packed with antioxidants. Did you know honey's actually antibacterial? It's antibiotic. Honey has all sorts of health benefits. But like you mentioned, it is as calorie dense as sugar, and it does cause the blood sugar to rise. So too much of a good thing is, well, too much of a good thing. Now our third alternative is to substitute with fruit. I don't know if you've ever tried that, but there are some things that are just as good when they're sweetened with fruit instead of a sweetener of some sort. So for instance, in the summertime when it's hot outside, because again, we're in Florida, when it's hot outside, our coffee, I make it iced like a smoothie, and instead of adding sugar, I add a banana to it. That way we're getting fiber, we're getting nutrients, and we don't even miss the sugar because the banana sweetens it to the degree that you don't notice there's no sugar there. You just notice it's got that thick, creamy texture, and it's delicious. Another alternative is if you put crushed apple into yogurt. It gives it that sweet, tangy taste. It's delicious. Now again, natural fruit has quite a few calories and it will spike the blood sugar. So be careful, you can get too much of that as well. But again, a banana coffee smoothie is delicious. Apple yogurt is delicious. We even used to make banana pancakes and they are really very good. So try those alternatives. When you can, just go without. That's the best way to conquer a sugar craving, is just do without sugar for a while. And then when you do have sugar, it doesn't taste nearly as good and you don't crave it nearly as much. So just do without for a while and see where that gets you. From there, when you have to have something, have honey. Although honey is calorie dense and spikes the blood sugar, it's incredibly good for you. So a little honey once in a while is not going to hurt you at all. And when you can, play around with substitutions with fruit. Again, bananas, apples, even prunes and dates. Most fruit is pretty sweet and makes a nice substitute for sugar in many dishes. Okay, Betty, good luck with this because I know sugar is a hard craving to crack. But once you do, you'll be glad you did. If you have any comments or questions, just drop them below and I'll either get back to you in the comments or with another video. Okay, see you next time.